Hey my lovelies, it is another awesome episode of Liberty Biberty Sheila, but before we start, I want to remind you guys what this is all about. This is the Onyx Off-Road Build Challenge held by Onyx Off-Road, which is an online map app. It's an incredible tool to have when going out on any trail, whether you're overlanding or hardcore rock crawling. There are so many features within the app that act as a must-have tool when going out there and adventuring. I always like to track my trails so that I can share that file with friends and family, and I love the fact that you put waypoints along the way. Onyx Off-Road also have some incredible safety features like knowing where wildfires are. That's been a big one this summer with the heat being so high. And they also have a snow feature. So if you're out there skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, you know that you're going to get home safely and you can keep a check on that weather forecast. These are just some of the incredible features available with Onyx Off-Road. So make sure you check it out, become an elite member, unlock all the features, and we'll see you on the trails. My lovelies, I'm so excited because today we're here at Dixie 4-wheel drive and I am going to be learning how to re-gear the 44 axles that are going into Liberty Biberty Sheila. To truss the front axle last night, take everything apart, and the man himself, Milt, is going to be walking me through everything and showing me how everything is done and just explaining everything. So let's get these bad boys in the shop, out of the wind. Let's get going. Now remember, Dixie 4-wheel drive is a business and they have a ton of mechanics in the back, and of course they're listening to music when they work. So today I'm obviously not going to ask them to switch that off at all, so there will be a lot of voiceovers in this video. So today we're going to be switching the gears from 410 to 553. But before that, I did take my American Iron ball joint deletes out of the freezer and to melt so that we could get those done first. Okay, we're here, we've done the ball joint deletes, and we're finally getting to gears.
Yeah.
It's going to show me the way. I'm going to learn from you
today. Took a few minutes to make sure which one went where, but
we got them in. Now, how long does it normally take for gears to do? I've heard that it can take no time at all to all the time in the world.
It depends. I've had some that were brutal and others that go real well. Generally, for re-gear, if everything goes really well, we can, about 4 hours do one. If you've got one blown up really bad and you have to gut every inch of it and clean every scrap out of it, yeah, you can spend more time.
Yeah, we don't have to do that because these are fairly new, came off the giveaway Jeep, so should be good. Okay. Fingers crossed. I hope I didn't just jinx us.
It should be fine.
All right, it's time to get to work. So I've had to modify the truss just a little bit because, this stopped at the bump stop pads. So I made a cap at the end of here. Well, there is a little bolt hole here that needs to be accessible. So we just need to take this out. We want to do this before so that when we're doing the gears, debris won't get in there. So that's what we're up to right this very second.
The acetylene plasma will cut through the cast here. I don't want that, so we had to use acetylene. Just wondering if I need to trim a little more from that.
You're going to do this in 0.2 seconds, Milt, and Walter and I were at this for a while.
Clip on the axle, you kind of get it centered up.
Yeah.
Get a pair of pliers with really good bite jaws.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, don't let me hit you.
That's it?
That's it.
Milt, we were at that for forever.
Well, I've been doing this forever. So.
Perfect. Sometimes you just need to call friends, I guess.
So if you take a socket that fits the pinion,
Okay.
and rotate that, put a wrench on the ring gear bolt
Okay.
to hold it, and rotate the pinion.
No, wait, it just pops right out?
It'll push it out till it skips teeth, but then you've got it out far enough you can get into the bearings. And
Okay. It's like you've done this before.
yeah, a couple times. Now, this is a reverse cut, so if you're doing a regular, like a rear one,
Yeah.
you have to put the wrench up here and turn it the other way.
Okay.
Because the taper of the gears
Okay.
are cut. So the front ones you can do it from the bottom and turn it. The other ones you do it from the top and turn it.
A couple of things that have changed on the JL are these screws here. It's changed since 2018. They actually used to have metal pieces that snapped in, but now they have screws. And the JK have 4 of these points, but the JL has 5. Another thing that's changed from the earlier JLs is the electronic. Because they were having so many problems with the switch failure, they would just switch out the entire carrier to a new one. Okay, as I said before, because the music is kind of blasting on in there, I'm going to come out here and tell you another little trick that Milt told me about. I want to make sure that the camera is running. So these bolts, as you can see, they're fairly shallow. Or any bolts. Some bolts are just really, really shallow. So if you put a normal socket on there, the sockets are actually tapered at the very end, which means they tend to round these off. Get the socket and cut it down so it's flat. Genius. Yes. So there's no skipping available at all with the bolt. Okay, now we're gonna go back in because I'm pretty sure there's more wisdom gonna come from this man. Also, I'm not really helping because sometimes more hands are just not helpful at all, and that is the case in this moment in time. So yeah, I've told him that I want to get my hands dirty, but I don't know if I will. That's okay, because I'm learning a bunch.
More parts that we machine until we've got the right ones.
There's so many in here.
Yeah, everything seems like it takes a different one. So.
It's like a junkyard. It's great.
Kind of have to know which ones you're looking for. You always want to make sure that the cage turns okay. You're not binding anything. Carrier and checker pattern.
Did you know, fun fact, that you don't need to worry about where your shims come from on either side with a JL, because one is larger and one is smaller. You're not a glove guy?
No, not when I'm just doing a little bit.
Me either. This right here is a dial indicator and checks the amount of movement that we have. So it has to touch the top of a tooth on the ring gear, and this is going to measure the backlash that we have. Now we want it to be between 6 and 10 thousandths. Here it's showing 10.5 thousandths. Now here you see Milt is painting on the teeth. He's doing this so that when we turn it, we're going to be able to see how much contact it has with the pinion in the rear. We're going to bring that to the front and check out the pattern, and that will tell us whether we have to adjust anything or not. Okay, here Milt is showing me that the contact is up near the top of the tooth and has an arch, which means the pinion is too shallow. Ideally, we're looking for that contact to be right in the middle. This part of the process is where it could take all day, because when you don't have the perfect pattern, you have to take everything apart. You have to take the carrier out. You have to take the pinion out. You have to add or subtract shims to the pinion, put everything back together again, paint the teeth again, and see if we have the correct pattern. Well, Milt did this 3 times. What we're doing is we added 8 thousandths onto the pinion, and when he saw the pattern go through, he took half of that away. He told me that he likes to put a little more so we can always take away and we know exactly where we are. other than always adding. But I guess this is just personal preference. Now Milt is checking the preload on the bearings. The spec for this is 14 to 29 and we have it at 15. But we managed to get it to 23 and that's where we were happy. Okay, that was way more simple than I thought it was. Thank you so much for teaching me the ways, the little nuggets of information and knowledge that you have. That was awesome. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So I'm gonna leave Milt to do the other one. I'm not gonna be in his way, and we have more work to do in the shop, so let's get on our way. Thank you.
Have fun.
Awesome. All right, we are back in the shop after an incredible time with Milt and learning how to do gears. I now don't feel intimidated by it at all. I think it would have taken me a little longer, but I understand the whole process now, so I'm really excited, and honestly, I can't wait to do some gears next time. But for now, we're back in the shop. I've actually been cleaning and tidying and making little workspaces and everything because I have some incredible guests coming to help with Liberty Biberty. Now, before any of you start your whole shenanigan of course she's not going to build it herself, yada yada yada, remember everyone else has employees helping them, so give me a little slack, people. Anyway, who do you think it is? Leave your answer in the comment below, and I bet you just don't get it. Anywho's, what am I doing right now? Well, I am building the rear suspension brackets up right now. I'm going to get them welded as well. I love these brackets so much. When they came just over 1/2 inch of a bolt hole. Now I'm deciding to go with 3/4 inch hardware on here, so I obviously had to get those drilled out bigger. And who came to save the day? None other than Kevin Stearns. So I headed on over to his race shop and he drilled those out for me. I love going to his race shop. I love going to his workshop because he has so many different parts of it. He has the machine shop where there's just like a plethora of every machine that you can think of in there. It's super cool. And he has like all of his model airplanes and cars and posters of him that he's been in races, and it's just really cool. And right next door is the race shop. Very cool space. And in fact, I believe he was picking up his race car from Triton Engineering right after I left. So I'm rooting for him. I'm so excited for his race season next year and happy to be part of it, and heck yeah. But long story short, he drilled the holes out for us, so all that's left to do is really assemble and weld everything together. And after I've welded the 2 brackets, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head back to St. George and the axles should be ready to pick up. So whew, let's get to welding. I need to give Milt at Dixie 4-Wheel Drive one more shout out for being so incredible, spending some of his day with me, the majority of the day with me, and showing me how to re-gear the axles. So I'm switching the knuckles out from aluminum to steel. You can probably guess why. It's just stronger. And when I'm going to be rock crawling, I want the strongest steering that I can get. So out with the newish and in with the really heavy new right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to struggle bust our way to put this on together right now. And yeah, we'll torque everything down to the torque specs. I'm going to double check on those. And yeah, let's get these axles put together, maybe some wheels and tires, so that we can roll them under the vehicle. Start doing suspension. So we have a sleeve right here with a flat edge. It's really simple. There's only one place it can go, and there's only one on the top. So you kind of know which one's the top and which one is the bottom. Now the trick is to do all of this at the same time. So let me get everything in place. Let's see if I can get this on here. Es solo. Okay. We're squared up at the top, squared up at the bottom. Now we just have to keep this in place. And okay, that's not gonna work. Let's get the top one on. Okay. Okay, so if you actually head on over to American Iron's website, I'll actually leave a link for their website in the description below. They have very, very specific instructions and they are super clear. So what we're going to start with is, I think this is number 4 in the instructions. We're going to start with the lower nylocks. We're going to torque them to 40 foot-pounds. Then we're going to move to the upper of the lower, do that to 35 foot-pounds, and then the upper of the upper to 20, and then to 25 foot-pounds. All right, that's the first side done. Let's get the second side and let's get some axle shafts in this bad boy and get some wheels and tires on here. Then we'll put some axle shafts in the rear and we'll get some wheels and tires on there too. Let's get these things rolling. Okay, just kind of sat here reminiscing a little bit. What took me all of maybe 10 minutes to put those axle shafts together. I just remember being in Pennsylvania and doing this exact same thing, not knowing what on earth I was doing. I was in the heat, the humidity, the GoPros were switching on and off because of the heat. Walter had set up like a little umbrella and table for me because it was so hot out there. I cried with frustration about 4 million times and didn't understand why no one would just help me. And it's moments like this where you can get the job done in a couple of minutes and you're like, okay, that used to be a massive deal. And it's just small things like that. So I'm just kind of having a mushy moment with you all. If you want to start doing this stuff, if you want to start trying to, you know, change a tire or change your oil, or it all starts there. So you can do it. You can absolutely do it. Listen, I am like the worst person in the garage. I really am. I'm my own worst enemy. I say and think that I know it all because I've watched or I've heard something, and I always get it wrong. Like, it's not even like sometimes, like I always get it wrong. But when you get it right in the end, you've learned something sometimes, and you just feel really good about it. So, moral of the story, moral of the moment. If you want to go do something, just do it. You're going to make mistakes. Don't be afraid. You're going to fall flat on your face 1,000 times. Don't be afraid. Don't listen to what other people have to say. Keep the negativity out. Keep doing you. Okay, enough with the mushy moment. It's over. Just have to do the same with the rear. I need to put the rear together. It's a little more involved than I thought it was going to be. So we're going to come back in the morning. We are going to say thank you to Taryn, who, bless her heart, is not feeling the greatest, but she's here being an absolute trooper. And honestly, I actually don't know what I would have done without her. I would have been here until like 3 o'clock in the morning, struggle busing. So, looking pretty good. Starting to look like a vehicle. I know a lot of you thought that this was never going to happen, but hey, we're getting somewhere. But I'll see you in the morning because I'm tired, dirty, need a shower. Tara needs to go home, get some sleep. And it's the next morning. Good morning. Whoa, feeling way better, showered, rested, here nice and early. We need to get the rear axle all set up, which means we're going to be taking the axle out of the old setup. We're going to take all of this right here, that front bearing, all of that good stuff, put the axle shaft in there, slip those on in, get the rotor on, get the calipers on, get the wheels and tires on, and get it under there. Okay, so I'm currently just getting the studs through. On the other side, I've already done the other one, did not use grease on the washer at the very back here. So I need to kind of figure out how to get them out. But second side, grease, then none of these will get stuck on here. You're just gonna do this, put a nut on here, and then essentially drive the stud all the way through. Yep, we're just getting it done slowly but surely, and gosh, I keep messing up on little things but then correcting them, so I guess that's a good thing. Okay, here's what's happening with the rear. I took this off the JL what seems like a million years ago, and I don't know where I put the hardware. I have searched high in heaven and beyond in this place, and I cannot find it. So instead of putting on hardware that's not meant for this and then redoing it all over again, I'm gonna wait for the hardware. I'm sure you understand. Am I a little disappointed that I haven't finished this video with both axles rolled underneath there? Yes, of course. It's a little frustrating, but we do have the front I got really excited last night looking at that. So I'm gonna have my glass half full and say I'm gonna take that for a win. Coming up in the next couple of episodes, there's gonna be a couple more people in here. Remember to leave who you think that is in the comments below. We really don't have a lot of time left to get this built, but that's okay. I have more hands coming and we are gonna make light work. So for now, I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks for watching.